trailer's all hooked up, pulled out into the street. All the stuff that was in the bed of the 350 that was going to get dumped yesterday, I need to transfer over to my 150, which also already has a load in it from cleaning out the office job yesterday. So we got whatever in the truck that I could fit from the bed of the other truck, and let's see how this truck likes towing this trailer. Just got up to the dump. Line's a little bit longer than I expected. Doesn't look like they've been letting people in yet. They take care of all of their company stuff before they start letting other people in to dump their trash. So it's about 6:50. Got here a little bit later than yesterday because it goes pretty quick now. They have, I think, 3 lanes open instead of just 2, and one is just for dump trucks and dump trailers rather than people unloading the back of vans. So at the dump, pulled off in the staging area. I'm gonna get this unstrapped so that way as soon as we pull in we don't need to waste any time. Just lift it up, dump it, pull out. So perfect example of why I tarp it now rather than just strap it. All these guys that are in here would have slid out the back. So we're next up to dump. Have my safety vest and hard hat ready to go since they require it now. They're doing quite a big addition. I think those are going to be the new dumping bays right across. And then this is just a yard where they keep a bunch of their trucks. It's a good size 320 CL there. And the building that we dump in is this one. So I'll pull up and back in. the scales. Our gross weight was just under 14,000 pounds. Just got back from the dump. We grossed 13,720. That's without anybody in the truck. I think my max allowable is 13,500. Our tear weight was 9,900 with an empty trailer, and then we dumped 3,820 out of the trailer. So even though I don't have the new leaf springs yet, I decided since it's about 60 degrees out, I was going to sand these fenders down. So I sanded them, hit them with a wire wheel. I used a little knotted wire brush on the angle grinder, and then it'll just get primed. I'm going to prime that real quick, just regular Rust-Oleum gray primer, and then I'll just paint them black to match the rest of the trailer, just a generic flat black, since the red kind of looks crappy. Fenders are all primed. You can see how the red kind of comes through, just like a red tint. So it would have taken a lot of coats of the black paint to cover it. So now I just need to grind down that side and we'll get that side painted. First coat of black paint is drying. I'm using Krylon for this. This is what I happen to have in the garage. Personally, I don't really like it. I like Rust-Oleum stuff a lot better. Their enamel paints are pretty good. It's just the first coat. You can still see a bunch of gray through it. The first coat's always going to be light, and that way the second coat bonds really well to the first coat. Did a little bit of the inner fender, but it'll come out pretty nice. Certainly looks better than the red already. Just looks like a regular trailer now. So we're gonna get second coat on this guy. That primer is still a little bit tacky. We'll do 2 coats on that one. So I'm not sure if you'll be able to pick this up on camera, but this is what I was talking about with the Krylon paint. It's almost partially transparent for the first coat, and for whatever reason the Rust-Oleum just isn't like that. I mean, you can see I just sprayed, and not until you put it on pretty heavy is when you start to see some coverage. But it'll get the job done. Much better than the red. I mean, you can see the holes in it. It'll come out in pictures pretty well. And I'm not trying to hide anything here. It's purely cosmetic. I wasn't trying to cover up any rust or anything. The fenders are what they are. It just looks a whole lot better. So then the other thing I do to them is I put reflective tape on it, like this dump trailer has. It makes it look just a lot cleaner. And so we're just waiting on the springs for that guy, and it should be all ready to sell. I have the junction box inside to do new wiring, because nothing worked on that, and the box is all loose and dangling around. So we'll clean it up a little bit more, hose it down. Spring should be here maybe this weekend. Put those on it and hopefully get it listed by Monday. So the next project for the day is we're going to be welding in the little pieces for the inserts. I have the nuts and the bolts and everything like that. And what I'll do is I'll measure the inside. I'll cut it out of here. Before I cut it out, I'll drill a hole wherever the center is going to be. It's a lot easier to hold a big piece while I'm trying to drill a hole in it than after I cut out an 1.5 by 1.5 square and then try and drill a hole through that. So I'll get these 2 guys drilled and cut out. I'll drill them both and cut them both out at the same time, and then we'll get them welded in. This is what I have marked out on the bar stock. That's going to be my centerpieces. As you can see, just inside the Sharpie marker will be just inside, and then that's roughly centered. So I'll drill roughly a 5/8 inch hole in that, and then I'll weld the nut to the back side. I'll paint the back side, and then I'll hold it in here by the threaded rod or by the bolt, and then I'll tack it, make sure it's square, weld it up. Okay, so now to drill. So now to drill this hole, all I'm going to use is a step bit. I seem to have the best luck with them for drilling larger holes. You just got it clamped to the work surface. Hopefully we can get it started with this. Getting there slowly. I'm gonna go grab another new bit, brand new Milwaukee step bit to try. Have never used these before. Drilled through it like nothing. We'll just make sure that they fit. I already checked the other one. That one fits perfectly. I have a little bit of gap, just enough to fill it up with weld. I'm going to thread one nut all the way down, and that's what I'll use to level it and set the depth. So these guys are all welded up. All I did was, that's a galvanized nut. You're not really supposed to weld galvanized, but I just made sure to burn the coating off, and I had a fan going in here for good ventilation. I just tack welded it on the bottom. The nut will go down, and then this is going to be what sticks up, and then this will get welded all the way around, or probably just on two sides. That way any moisture and stuff can still get out and it won't trap moisture in there. And then you could either screw the bolt in, or I could weld in a threaded rod coming out from the back. So then what I do to start this is I thread the bolt in the plate, hold it down, and then I start with one corner. And I weld the one corner, I tack it in. That's a really porous weld, by the way. And then that allows me to straighten everything else out. So I'm just doing it by eye right now. There's no real way to put a square on it. As you can see, all the way around. It's pretty square. It's a little off, but that's because there's some play in the bolt, because it's a coarse thread. So that'll certainly get the job. One of the things that I've been doing recently is using these yellow top plastic tubs from Home Depot, and I've started to put all of my supplies in that I need on jobs. So for example, this is my painting tool and painting supply bin. This is my actual paint brush and roller bin. I have one for drywall tools, and the whole tub comes with me to any job site that I need them. This way, when you're done at the end of the job and you may have went out and bought some stuff it all goes back in the same place. You're not unloading the truck into the garage where stuff can end up in different spots. So for example, tomorrow I am doing some touch-ups and a little bit of spackle, so these 3 tubs will all come with me, and that way I have everything that I need. I'm not coming back to the house or the shop to pick anything up, and it makes it simpler at the end of the job when I clean it all up, and I don't have any miscellaneous stuff around. So that's paint tools, meaning trays, drop cloths, anything painting related. That's paint rollers and brushes. Of course, I'm getting the reflection from the sun outside. And then this guy is, let's see, where is it? Drywall tools. Just basic stuff. I can do an in-depth video another time of how I organize some of my stuff. Everything's a mess now because we've been unpacking a couple job sites, so it kind of all got shoved around, but it'll all get cleaned up this weekend. Last stop of the day is going to be, we're going down to a friend's. It's a small commercial space. He's making a little massage center. We'll go with that. We're going to go put up a couple walls. He just got the permits approved, and so the electrician and the plumber are waiting on us to have a wall framed up. That way they can rough in the plumbing and the electrical. So we'll take a ride down and do that. Guys back at the shop, they're unloading some of the other trucks to get everything organized in the garage, and then we're going to redistribute the tools back to the trucks with the list, and that way every truck gets the same tools, and we know exactly what's in every truck. We don't get to a job and not have something on us.